Martin. I'm the founder of Uber Enterprise, and for us, we were the ones that organised the trip for Prodigal Sons and Daughters, led by Isaac Essel.
We're glad to be welcomed.
Yes.
The prodigal son and daughter. So-called American Negroes are now back home where we came from.
To be able to come to Ghana and talk about mental health and see how they can, invest and bring their skills and expertise that they've got from Prodigal Sons and Daughters, which is a company that really looks at mental health in the prisons and mental health as a stigma.
I'm here today in Ghana with Prodigal Sons and Daughters. This is a homecoming for them on the year of return. We are here to find out what we can do here in Ghana to help the Ministry of Health, especially in areas concerned with mental health. Currently, mental health is an issue that I grew up seeing it firsthand because our Dome Clinic, which is Dr. Akosua Osei, is the medical doctor that was over there, and that's my father.
We never thought that we would be coming in 2020, the year of return. And it really means something to us as an organization, particularly being Black Americans who were born in America, who are the descendants of slaves, and to have an opportunity 400 years later to come back home as the prodigal son and daughter, to come back to their father and ask to be received by our family. So to be here just in that regard to us is really an honor, and we really feel it a great privilege.
I was a bit curious because of the name, Prodigal Sons and Daughters. What wrong have you committed that to call yourself Prodigal Sons and Daughters? But I think it's a very good exercise, a very good initiative that you're doing. In fact, mental health is one of the very, very neglected areas of our health system in Ghana.
Yes.
Most likely, it's the same also for the US.
Right. Absolutely. Stigma.
Yes.
Stigma.
Because if somebody should, for some reasons, get into maybe some kind of depression, and it is not managed well, and he moves from that line to a deeper, deeper issues of depression and probably even insanity. Even after rehabilitation, it is difficult for the system to accept that person again. That even throws them back into a situation probably worse off than their previous situation.
What we are very much interested in doing with Prodigal Sons and Daughters is also to make sure that our Dome Clinic Ghana, which is in Santasi, Kumasi, we are able to revitalize the facility, make it a world-class standard where we can treat our mental patients there and also have our outpatients to collaborate with everything, the programs that Prodigal Sons and Daughters are doing. The question to your answer is yes, we are very much engaged in building facilities here, also finding different ways that we can use the proven system that they have to work in Ghana.
We will be interested in prison health, which mental health is actually a key component of it. As part of the world strategy, there is what we call the Health in All policy. The Justice Ministry is also doing what we call the Justice for All program. So I met with the Director General of Prisons to see how best we can collaborate with them to see how we take care of the health of prisoners. Now he's just mentioned the Mental Health Authority, which is also another crucial organ that will be very, very crucial to our engagement in Ghana. We are here to support, we are here to help, we are here to work with you. Yes.
As one in the mental health profession, we have obligated ourselves to come to Ghana to assist the prisons as well as the community in providing more quality care services for individuals who suffer with mental illness. What could they do for you here to make life better for you?
I can say only the municipal town is taking care of me. Any possible that came on me, the world rushes from home.
Appreciate the work that Prodigal Sons and Daughters are doing for the prisons with respect to psychiatric care. Today they have enlightened us on many issues, and then we also have one or two things on issues that we've laid bare to them. With respect to psychiatric care, the costs for medication is very extravagant or very high. And then health insurance does not mostly cover the drugs. So we appreciate most if they toe in that line of helping us secure more psychiatric drugs or psychotic drugs. There's this aspect of lunatic criminals and then criminal lunatics. That is where inmates, some commit crimes based on their psychiatric conditions, and some also, after crime committance, also have developed some psychiatric conditions. With this crop of people, we don't want them to mingle with inmates or other non-psychiatric criminals in the prison. So we advocate for a forensic prison where we can treat them with their psychosis conditions and then separate them from the non-psychotic inmates so that they can reintegrate them into the society. Basically, that's what we're anticipating and then what the Ghana Prison Service is looking at. So we thank you once again, Prodigal Sons and Daughters, for visiting us. We hope that this wouldn't be a one-day affair. You come more often, and then the bond continues to be stronger and stronger. Thank you very much.
So let me tell you about mental health in Ghana and what this agency is about. Formal mental health care started in Ghana around 1888 when we had the first mental health legislation passed. That was the Lunatic Asylum Ordinance. Worldwide, there was really no treatment for mental health care, just put them custodial purposes. So that's how it was. Then in 1972, the law was revised to make it a semblance of a hospital care. Well, not semblance, but to make it a hospital care instead of custodial care. And then it's been revised again after 40 years from 1972 in 2012 into the current Mental Health Act. We are happy to have you. The ground is still fertile in terms of what you can do. And we are happy to collaborate with anybody who is coming to improve or to help with our care. So on that note, you are really very much welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I think this is very, very good information. I mean, like, what you have said has actually put everything that everybody have said into like one huge power, and you have really put it together very nice.
So we are really excited to have this group coming to support mental health care. Mental health care is quite deprived in terms of resources. So it's really an excitement to see a group of investors coming to invest in mental health care, especially the private sector. But that is an area where we are not giving a lot of attention. So we are excited, and we are hoping that we'll be able to collaborate and work together to improve the quality of mental health care that is given to the people of Ghana.
What we basically do here, we take care of outpatients, those who are discharged from the hospital and they are in the community. We have sub-districts, we have nurses there that work there. So when the patients come from the hospital, they come with their medications. So we continue the care, we visit them, we trace the house first, then we continue with visits. So when we go for home visits, we look out for things that might cause relapse. Then if there's stigmatization, we deal with all those things.
What are the areas that we can help you succeed in what you're doing?
Okay. Right now, this is a district hospital. And every district hospital is supposed to have units with beds to admit the patients. But because of lack of funds, I don't know, we don't have anything. That's what we have. And even getting this was a struggle.
What are some of the major diagnoses that you see?
This district, the major diagnosis that we normally have, we have epilepsy, followed by substance abuse. Yes, very high. Then schizophrenia, the third. Then we also have depression. We have postpartum psychosis, and the rest. And these days we have been having suicidal attempts a lot. It's a lot.
What's the highest age group that you noticed that in?
For suicidal,
yeah.
From 17. Yes.
We can also sponsor like some of the nurses if they can continue with their education, like her who has been doing this for a while. If she have all the major, like the basic certification or the basic qualification for her to get to that level, we can also sponsor her to get her to be a psychiatric, and then she'll come back and work here because she started here.
We'll go out with you to see the patient outside, and then we'll take it from there.
So we are here in Accra, in the West district. So he's our patient. He has been a patient for about 5 years.
Wow.
He used to come for review with the mother. But I got to some point, I think the mother didn't have money to buy medications and other things. Though when we get some, we give him. But I got so difficult that it became like...
Do you know why you're here?
I'm in the house.
You're in the house.
And he's been with you for 5 years?
Yes. Initially, anytime he relaxed, the mother would take him for admission. But right now, she cannot pay for admission.
How much is the admission about?
Okay, in Accra Psychiatric, I think it's 500 cedis. When we go to Kwanta, it's much higher than.
It's about $100.
So there's no other source that he can get to pay for his treatment? There's no city support, no...
This is the issue that we are facing in mental health.
It has to be addressed on a political level in order to get these services done, and this has been going on all these years and not been addressed?
That with what we are doing, it gets recognized and people see what is going on so that we can change minds. When we can change minds,
support a mother like this that's going through this.
So you see that if I gave her $100 a month, he would be so...
He was very supportive. Their mother is very supportive.
So if I gave her $100 a month?
She will. She will take him for admission. And then
is that American dollars?
Yeah, American dollars.
Here's the first month right here, okay?
God bless you. God bless you.
So that means, Mama.
God bless you, first of all. God bless you.
So there you have it. Today was your day. Today was appointed to happen. The money that you've received, I'll need Daina to make sure that we get progress report of him and you as well.
We've seen a young guy that was chained to a tree at home, and even though he was chained, we could see that the mum really loves the child in terms of she's kept the son still at home. Prodigal Sons and Daughters donated to the mother and now has got the son out of the home, out of chains, into a hospital where he needs to be. The organization will try and support you as much as they can each and every month so that my boo can get better. Okay?
Detaining and chaining people, completely legal.
So it's illegal
Completely
right now
illegal.
today.
Right now,
so
today,
illegal for
it's illegal.
The chains on the...
Right now, today, it's illegal. Right now, today, it's illegal. Now, there are practical challenges with implementing that. Ghana is very, very good at writing very, very good laws and quite questionable when it comes to the implementation of said laws. So that's why I'm explaining to you what the situation is supposed to be. I played a significant role when we're developing our policies for the mental health authority. So I've had some overview of mental health care beyond the facility level. And mental health care in general is moving away from focusing on these big institutionalized practices to more decentralized community-based intervention. So I mean, if we're going to be honest about having an impact with whatever intervention you're going to have, reasonably, even if you're giving some support to the institutions, and we need it, But if you really want to have an impact and change people's lives, you would want to focus on how to make sure that the community level interventions that are supposed to be happening are happening.
Okay.
Now, if the decentralization was happening as it was supposed to be happening, like I'm saying, the degree of illness at the district level would be lower. The illness would be less severe because they'll be getting treatment cheaper, faster, earlier, more consistently. So the amount of social support they would need, biological extension should be lower. Because the level of social support you need, it tends to be commensurate to the severity of your deficit.
Okay.
So if you intervene early, you intervene consistently, the understanding or the thinking is that the level of deficit goes down. So now instead of having to support the person to find work or to finish their education, they're managed early, so they're able to finish their education. They're managed early, so they're able to go back to work. The challenge is that our district level programs are not running efficiently because this ethos of free is worrying us at that level as well. So because it's supposed to be free, the facilities wait for the government to purchase medications and supply them with the medication so that they can give it to their patients for free.
Okay.
Therefore, if the government doesn't purchase said medication, the medication is not available at the facility, the treatment cannot be rendered at the facility. There's a challenge with the supervision of these facilities as well. We have I think 38 psychiatrists in total in the country, and most of us are either in teaching hospitals or in the psychiatric hospitals. So we have enough to supervise all of these units, but we don't have a system set up that makes sure that that monitoring and evaluation of the service that is being delivered at the point of care is happening.
So what, the government would have to give them like caseloads? They would have to administer that?
They would have to, at least regions or districts could be they could be put in charge of a district or a region, so they have a supervisory role over mental health care in a particular catchment area. This requires some financial support because it's a lot of, because the person have to travel from, let's say, Accra to somewhere in Brong-Ahafo. It's a bit of a journey. You probably take a flight and then you have to be accommodated overnight. So most facilities can't afford to do that themselves, but it's possible. It's possible, and it'll go a long way to improve the care.
Who would have the stats, or are there any stats on what districts or what areas have the most need, have the most mental?
Whatever data we have, I wouldn't be too certain about it. We tried doing some census, but the census was mostly on vagrants, homeless people suffering from mental illness. So for that, there was a census done about that, but it's a very mobile population. So your census is as good as when it was done.
We have no problem being very creative in what we need to do to integrate with the work that you're doing here. Because we think that the work that you're doing here, under the circumstances under which you've had to work, and the commitment that you have shown and demonstrated, is amazing. And we're honored to be here at this time to, offer, what we have learned to be effective, here.
One of the problems that I find that in our part of the world we deal with is that most of these problems start in the home, and we don't really have proper understanding of what's happening, and usually the first point of call is the church in our part of the world, that we're dealing with this or we see these signs, so the first point of call is the church. And most of the time, I'm sorry to say this, but pastors are not skilled in dealing with them, so they compound to the problem and then it escalates. One of the common things that I have to handle most of the time is marital issues, bringing about depression and suicidal thoughts, and it gets so bad to the point that if intervention isn't made, somebody dies.
I thought that this session was very, very, very important. There's no better time than now, because considering the amount of stigma that goes on in Ghana and in Africa surrounding mental health issues. And I definitely believe that with partnership with the kind of people we met here, I believe that things will pick up. There will be a lot more advocacy, a lot more awareness on mental health issues in Africa, and I think that things will get better in relation to mental health.
Welcome to the City Hall. As we clean up Accra, we've come to realize that a lot of people who had mental health issues have also set up their own corners and making the place dirty. So how do we go about it? And there's a lot that happens in Accra. So from where I sit, I know mental health is a big issue among the youth, and the causes are, I don't know, either due to substance abuse. We don't have a lot of depression because in Africa, especially in this country, it's a one big family. All of us on the streets are one big family. Somebody have to check on you. So
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Doc, you want to say anything?
It moves us in such a way, in the way that we have been received here at home in Ghana. You know, as you can see, we have a very diverse staff, and we believe that there's unity and diversity if it's used appropriately. So we want to bring that paradigm to Ghana because we know that that same diversity exists here, and it's needed in order for us to make changes.
We met with the mayor today. It was an absolute privilege. We found him to be very accommodating. He tends to pride himself on the standards of excellence. I have learned so much about the citizens of Ghana that I can actually take back home and add to my personal life. We're looking forward to collaborating and doing some great things together with the city and the people of Ghana.
Today is to hear from you, present to us the reasons why we have to invest here.
Samara Agribusiness is part of the Samara Group. As Samara Group as a company has been in existence for over 30 years with a focus heavily in manufacturing and distribution of consumer goods. Our executive chairman, he will always say his inception or where he came from to build the Samara empire as you know it today is from agriculture. So his key thing now is looking at legacy. So leaving something behind, not just that could.
Today's meeting was very productive with Samara Industries, and anybody that's willing to come into an area of agriculture, especially cashew, come on board. We're going to be talking to so many companies in the U.S., and I know this area, Ghana have the premium ones, and we're going to be looking for partners who wants to invest in a very good company. Samara Industries is a good partner, and we're going to work with them.
We are very grateful, and we are hoping to see you again before you go back. We are hoping to partner with the Prodigal Sons and Daughters from the U.S. and Samara hopes to do whatever it takes. I mean, to help them partner us in terms of investment. That's what we are looking for. So we provide whatever necessary documentation so we can achieve that goal.
After the process, then you come back and learn about the symbols quickly. So they give opportunity for you to try on hands and make your own design. And here is my mother. See my mom. You feel like it? Okay. I'm not afraid of you.
symbol of defense. Aya.
We are experiencing what our forefathers went through with the last bath. The last bath consists of when the slaves did their walk, a 6 months walk into slavery. Before they went into auction, they would have to be cleaned. So they would be dropped here and took into the river to be cleaned up, shaved, and put together so that they can be sold and look like good merchandise. So what we did was we went through that same experience. We were told to remove our shoes. At first we were reluctant. We was like, why? Why should we do that? But think about it. You take your shoes off for the TSA, you take your shoes off at Great Adventure, the water park, you take your shoes off, no problem. So we had to comply. Do the same thing for your ancestors. So that's what we did. We took the walk to the river barefoot, and we were told all of the horrible things that our forefathers went through. We were able to experience some of that by standing by the river, putting our feet in the river and looking at these things. It's like a culture shock. It was so much going on, but it's a lot to take in. And we were also offered the opportunity to write our names on the walls. So other folks who come here, they will see we were here. January 2020, Prodigal Sons and Daughters, we were here and we experienced. So the prodigal son and daughter has returned, and this is the year of return.
We have taken a tour that was phenomenal. It was emotional. And one that I'm very grateful for, to see where my ancestors came from. And to let them know that we made it. And we're going to do the work that needs to be done. It further verified for me the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who taught us our history, who built a nation within a nation, and left us with a roadmap to continue his work. This is more than physical. It is mental, it is spiritual, as well as physical. I've gained a wealth of knowledge here today that I will take back to the U.S. and share with my friends and family.
After going through this, and now you're back home, what are your visions for coming back home, especially in the area of mental health?
Wow. To bring back home the best, the most excellent, the most prolific quality of care possible to serve individuals who suffer from mental illness and co-occurring illnesses. You know, we pledge to bring back all of the resources within our power and the power of those that we know and that befriended in this field to help change the condition of our brothers and sisters here at home and all throughout the diaspora that suffer from mental illness.
From the U.S. over here to Ghana to do this merger collaboration with the Adom Clinic. Our expertise is mental health, behavioral health, and prisoner re-entry. And we just hope to do the same things we are doing in the States, we plan on doing here. Like Dr. Muhammad said, we left here in chains, we come back in brains, and we have to do our work of raising our people and saving our people.
We want to make sure that all of the health
and physical assessments are done before putting a person into mental health services.
This has been a very historic moment in time for me and the membership of Prodigal Sons and Daughters. It's been a long time coming. It is a blessing to have returned to our motherland, to be able to come back, to be able to provide services for those who suffer from the disease of mental illness and substance use disorder. To also call this to the attention of the Ghanaian people, to know that there's a crisis and that we need to address this crisis on all levels. We need to bring in the professionals, the private sector, the religious community, the government officials. We need everybody, as it says, it takes a village to raise a child. We need everybody to impact the issues of mental illness that is plaguing our community all over the earth, particularly here in Ghana. So Prodigal Sons and Daughters, we have committed ourselves to taking on that challenge, but we need your support. We need your backing. Any type of resources that you can give. We were honored to be asked to come to the Abban Clinic to help in this effort. It was a divine decree for us. We're glad to be here and we look forward to this mighty, mighty work.
This has opened our eyes that we should do more, that should encourage our families to learn more about mental health, because any one of us at any point of time could have mental health.